My name is Isabella Moreau, and I'm 30 years old. If you saw me today, standing on the terrace of my glass-walled penthouse overlooking Paris, you'd think I was born into perfection. Gold watch, velvet dress, a glass of red wine that glows like blood under the evening light. But perfection is always a disguise, and mine was stitched from betrayal. 3 years ago, I wasn't this woman. I was a dreamer, a designer with passion instead of power. I believed love could build an empire stronger than money ever could. I believed in him. His name was Adrien Leclerc, billionaire's son, charming, polished, and deadly in ways I couldn't see. He told me I was his muse, his forever, his reason to be better. And I believed every word. We were supposed to start a fashion label together. L'amour noir, the name he said represented our love in shades of elegance. I brought the designs, the vision, the art. He brought the name, the investors, the smile. Then came the betrayal. The day of our brand launch, I stood backstage, heart racing. My sketches, my collection, everything I'd dreamed of, was finally about to breathe. But when the lights came on, it wasn't my name on the screen. It was his. By Adrien Leclerc. My designs, his credit, my heart, his profit. When I confronted him later that night, he didn't even deny it. He just smirked and said, "Business doesn't care about emotions, Isabella. You gave me everything. I only took what was already mine." That sentence broke something sacred inside me. And in that moment, I realized love didn't destroy me. Trust did. That night, I packed my life into a suitcase and vanished. No tears, no goodbyes, just silence. For a year, I disappeared from every radar. No calls, no traces, no headlines. Then came Isla Verane, the woman I created in that silence. An identity of silk, mystery, and vengeance. With my savings, a few stolen contacts, and my designs, I rebuilt myself, not as a victim, but as a storm. I launched my new brand under the radar, Velvet Veil, in Singapore. A brand whispered among elite women who wanted beauty that bit back. The world loved it. Investors followed. Within a year, I became a name, quiet, powerful, unstoppable. And Adrien, he didn't even know I existed, until the night we met again. It was a winter gala in Milan, all diamonds and deceit. He was there, of course, surrounded by photographers and sycophants, smiling that same charming smile. I watched him from across the room, calm as still water, my red lips hiding a decade's worth of rage. When he finally approached me, he said, "I don't believe we've met before. You look familiar." I smiled. Perhaps in another life. He didn't recognize me, not through the polished accent, the sleek hair, or the armor of power I wore now. But fate has a twisted sense of humor. 2 weeks later, he reached out through a business connection, inviting Isla Verane to collaborate on a luxury line. The irony? He was asking me to design for his brand, the one he stole from me, so I accepted. And thus began my slow, deliberate art of destruction. Adrien was still the same, confident, magnetic, utterly blind to the traps around him. Every meeting, every negotiation, I smiled, listened, and took notes. Not on fashion, on flaws. His company was bleeding money. His board divided. He was desperate for revival, and I became his lifeline. Within months, I maneuvered myself into his inner circle. His executives trusted me. Investors adored me. And Adrien? He fell again. Not for love this time, but for the illusion of control. He invited me to his private villa one evening. Candlelight dinner, the same charm, the same hands that once held me like I was the world. Except now, I wasn't the same woman. He poured the wine and said, "You remind me of someone I once loved." I looked at him, steady, calm. "Maybe you should have loved her better." He froze, just for a second. But then the conversation moved on. Or maybe he just didn't dare to see the truth yet. Behind the scenes, I was dismantling everything he built. His suppliers began to drift away, seduced by my offers. His board began questioning his leadership. Rumors spread, quiet, poisonous, perfectly timed. And then came the final move. A merger deal he thought would save him. What he didn't know was that the company merging with his was mine. On paper, it looked like salvation. In reality, it was a surrender. The morning the deal was signed, I walked into his office, wearing black silk, calm and deadly. He looked up from the papers, smiling. "To new beginnings, Isla." I leaned forward, meeting his eyes. "It's not Isla anymore, Adrian." His pen fell from his hand. I removed my sunglasses slowly, letting him see me, really see me. The shock on his face was almost poetic. "Isabella," he whispered, You're alive?" "More than alive," I said softly. "You taught me how to survive." He stood, trying to form words, maybe apologies, maybe excuses, but it was too late. The empire he stole from me now belonged to me, legally, completely. He sank into his chair, broken, eyes lost in disbelief. "Was this all revenge?" "No," I said, turning to leave. "This was justice, wrapped in velvet." That night, Paris reigned. I stood on my balcony again, watching the city lights shimmer like the ghosts of promises. People called me powerful, unstoppable, untouchable. But none of them knew the truth, that revenge doesn't heal, it just hides the wound behind gold. Sometimes I still dream of him, not the man who betrayed me, but the man who once kissed my fingertips and called me his world. In those dreams we are still innocent. But then I wake up, and the silence reminds me, I burned everything we had. And from those ashes I built a throne made of velvet, a heart made of scars, and a name whispered with both fear and desire. Isabella Moreau. Because in the end, I didn't just win. I became the storm that no one saw coming. Revenge never gives peace. It only teaches you how to smile through fire. The end. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Comment below which story you want to hear next. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.